All right, today's mobility, we're going to talk about a butterfly stretch and a method of increasing our range of motion and improving our stretching that you can use along any sort of passive stretch that we do. I'm just going to give you a taste of that today. It's called proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. You can totally save that in your brain for using in Jeopardy. Sometimes we'll abbreviate that to PNF. Or we'll just call it contract relax because that makes the most sense to most people. So first we're going to talk about the passive version of this. We're just going to do a butterfly stretch. So I've got my back up against the wall. I'm trying to get my low back up there. So when I sit back up, there's much of a vertical upright torso, good posture as much as possible. Then I'm going to put the soles of my feet together and I'm going to pull them in toward my groin as tight as I can. And you're going to see some change happen here because I'm really tight in this position. So this is just my passive stretch. I'm going to sit here. I can kind of rest my arms on my legs, and this is just going to give a little bit of downward pressure. If this is where you want to stay and do your stretch, we're going to do 3 minutes of this one. We're just going to hang out here. And I recommend that everyone starts with at least 1 minute of just this passive stretch. Okay? Now, some of you do not have a problem with this position, your mobility and your range of motion. You're super flexible here. So this next part, the contract relax, you don't need to do because that's maybe could potentially do more harm than good. So if you are already able to lay your legs, your knees are flat on the floor, don't worry about the next part of this. Just spend 3 minutes just sitting here and relaxing. For the rest of us, we're going to try some contract relax. I'm going to show you a version, so you can do this at home, right? Everyone's got a wall. You can do this contract relax with your arms, or in the gym here, we have some weights. You can use some weights. So I'm going to show you how to do it without the weights, and then we'll do it with the weights. So this is I've been sitting here for about a minute. This is kind of where my legs are going at the end of the passive stretch. They're not going to open up anymore. So I'm going to then contract for 4 seconds, and then I'll relax for double that, for about 8 seconds. But when I contract, that means I'm going to be pushing my knees up, but I don't want them to actually make any progress. So I'm going to have to push down with my hands, and they're going to be in a little bit of a tug-of-war for about those 4 seconds. Then when I relax for the 8 seconds, I'm going to let my legs fall back open a little bit farther, and that will be my new starting point. So I'll contract and relax. And notice my legs are able to drop down just a little bit more. I'm going to hold that for a little bit, a couple of deep breaths. I have a hard time contracting and not holding my breath, but if you can breathe through the contraction, it's only 4 seconds. If you can do that, good for you. Go for it. Now, this is my new starting spot. I'm not going to let my knees come up any higher than this. So I'm going to push down and contract and relax. And when I do that, you'll see that my legs open up a little bit more. Now, in the gym, we can add a little bit of weight. Or if at home you have weights or something you can put on here. So I'll just rest these on my legs, and this is giving some constant downward pressure, which is going to help when that relax phase of the contract relax. It's going to add a little bit more pressure for those to open up a little bit. I'm going to do one more contract relax here. So contract. And let that open up a little bit more. All right, so we got 1 minute of a passive stretch and maybe 3 minutes if your legs were already flat on the floor, but then 2 minutes of kind of working through this contract, relax. 4 second contract, 8 second relax, try to gain some ground every time you relax. And at some point, it'll stop making progress, and that's okay. You can go back to the passive stretch if you still have some time of the 3 minutes left. We'll just finish out those 3 minutes, and then we'll be done for the day.